Have you ever come across the claim that people carry between 2 and 10 pounds of toxic waste in their colon, and sometimes as much as 5 pounds on average? That idea has become widespread, but today we're going to explore whether there's any truth behind it, or whether it's just an urban legend. Long ago, I tried every colon cleansing method out there. I had colonics, and even tried a method developed by Bernard Jensen, combining colon cleansing and enemas multiple times. I visited his home in San Diego, where he lived in an RV, bought his kit, and repeated his protocol over the years. Looking back now, I realize the bigger issue wasn't the techniques themselves. It was that I never fixed my eating habits. One extreme method, called the Colima cleanse, involved drinking psyllium-laced apple juice with sugar and vitamins twice a day for 7 straight days without eating anything else. They didn't even allow salt or sea salt, which led to headaches and weakness because I unknowingly developed sodium deficiency, and at the time I had no idea just how dangerous that could be. That taught me an important lesson. If you're considering colon cleansing, it's essential to know what you're doing and why. Let's ask, how much toxic buildup is really inside someone's colon? While it's true some people, especially those with chronic constipation or colon infections, can carry significant mass, for most healthy individuals who pass stool regularly, about 400 to 500 grams daily, the idea of having 5 to 10 pounds of toxic waste isn't realistic. Yes, that's a generalization, and we know many people suffer from constipation and retain more waste than usual, but the idea of everyone having that amount stored in their colon is misleading. I recall one patient. She came to me complaining of constipation, saying, seriously, she only went to the bathroom once a month. Based on that, it's likely her colon contained more than 10 pounds of hardened stool. After giving her nutritional guidance, she left, and I never saw her again. Later, I saw her car filled with empty wrappers from fast food chains like Burger King and McDonald's. Clearly, poor eating contributed directly to her chronic condition. That shows us that this idea that fecal matter lingering in the colon for years is toxic is driven more by discomfort or stigma than by science. Yes, stool can smell unpleasant, but this isn't because of mysterious toxins. It's because of an overgrowth of certain microbes in the gut producing foul-smelling gases. If someone breathes or body odor smells unpleasant, it's much more likely caused by these microbial gases, not scary toxins. These microbes aren't inherently bad, they're meant to be in our digestive tract. If someone uses laxatives or cleanses aggressively and flushes out everything, they may also eliminate helpful bacteria needed for digestion. That's similar to taking antibiotics. Despite sometimes relieving constipation, you also lose beneficial microbes, making the problem worse. Think of your colon as a compost pile. Without the right bacteria to break down the organic matter, nothing decomposes. The same applies to food in your colon. Good bacteria break it down, produce short-chain fatty acids that nourish colon cells, support glucose balance, and keep everything moving. This process is vital. It's how digestion evolves into energy and balance. Here's a breakdown of how it works. Digestion starts in the stomach with acid breaking food down. Then enzymes from the pancreas and small intestine further dismantle proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. The liver produces bile to emulsify fats, aiding absorption. These nutrients, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, get absorbed into your bloodstream via the small intestine and colon. What remains moves along, and the microbes in your colon ferment the leftovers into beneficial compounds and gas. However, stool isn't dead. Every gram contains over 100 billion bacteria and millions of viruses, many of which are our allies. When you're ill, viral load can grow significantly, but these viruses are the protective kind, helping balance the bacterial population. It's a delicate ecosystem. We depend on these microbes for digestion, nutrient absorption, and immune support. Many of them live in the colon. If everything's functioning normally, you should have a well-hydrated 3-4 foot long digestive tract actively processing about half a pound of food daily. Most processing happens in the small intestine, but the colon refines, reabsorbs water and electrolytes, and pushes waste forward. If bile salts are low, stool may become pale grey or even bronze instead of brown, because bile contributes to that color. Too little bile may slow digestion, increasing constipation. Too much may cause looser stool or diarrhea. Balancing these elements keeps elimination consistent. Diverse fiber from various veggies supports a healthy microbiome. If someone constantly eats the same vegetable, the gut flora lacks diversity. So if constipation is an issue, increasing vegetable fiber and also getting probiotics can help. But from fermented foods like yogurt, kefir or sauerkraut, not synthetic psyllium. And while probiotics can be beneficial, not every case requires a supplement. If diet and lifestyle are solid, many older adults regain digestive ease with whole foods alone. There are numerous natural gut-friendly herbs, slippery elm, marshmallow root, carob powder, that help soothe and support the lining without depleting microbiota. These gentle options honor the complexity of the colon ecosystem. At its heart, healthy digestion stems from balanced nutrition. If constipation or sluggish elimination persists, or probiotics alone aren't helping, then a natural plant-based laxative might be appropriate under professional guidance, but only after examining deeper causes. It could be fatty liver, low bile production, low stomach acid, or pancreatic enzyme suppression. In those cases, nutritional adjustments, not a cleanse, is the best long-term solution. So, many of the myths about toxic fecal loads mislead people. Proper nutrition is still the most effective remedy. A diet rich in varied fiber, balanced fats, proper hydration, fermented foods, and occasional digestive supporting herbs fosters a colon environment that functions cleanly without harsh flushes. Now, if you're curious to know how to naturally support your body in detoxing toxins, especially for your liver, take a look at my video on detox food strategies. I'll walk you through nourishment-based tools that help the body cleanse systems safely. Let's dive even deeper into this often misunderstood world of digestion and colon health. If you're over 60, chances are you've heard terms like colon cleanse, detox tea, or gut reset tossed around. But how much of it is actually backed by solid knowledge? The truth is, many of these trends appeal to emotion rather than science. Think about it. In American culture, there's always a pill, a powder, or a cleanse being marketed as the solution to every discomfort. But your gut is not a dirty pipe that needs to be scrubbed clean. It's a living, dynamic environment, and more delicate than we often realize. One thing that's often overlooked is how interconnected digestion is with the rest of the body. Gut health doesn't just affect how we go. It also influences how we sleep, think, fight off illness, and even manage chronic pain. You've probably noticed that when your digestion is off, everything feels off. That's because the gut contains about 70% of the body's immune system and directly communicates with your brain through a pathway called the vagus nerve. Ever had a gut feeling about something? That's more than just a saying, it's biology. And when our gut microbes are imbalanced, it can show up as mood swings, poor focus, joint pain or fatigue, not just bloating or constipation. So what's the smart move? It's not about dumping everything out of your system with a harsh cleanse. It's about rebuilding that internal ecosystem in a way that's nourishing, not punishing. Let's talk about realistic steps that actually help. First, hydration. It sounds basic, but many older adults are chronically dehydrated. With age, our thirst signals become weaker, so it's easy to fall behind without even realizing it. Staying hydrated softens stool, keeps digestion moving, and supports kidney and liver function. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, flavored with lemon or a splash of apple cider vinegar if that makes it more enjoyable. Second, variety in vegetables. Try to get at least 3 different types of vegetables every day. This diversity feeds different types of beneficial gut bacteria, which are key to a strong immune system and balanced mood. Leafy greens like spinach, fibrous options like carrots, and fermented foods like sauerkraut each bring unique benefits. Third, include healthy fats, especially if you've been avoiding them since the low-fat craze of the 1980s. Fats from olive oil, avocados and nuts help lubricate the intestines, allowing smoother bowel movements and better absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Fourth, don't overlook chewing. It might sound too simple to matter, but chewing your food thoroughly is one of the most underrated steps in digestion. The more you chew, the easier it is on your stomach and intestines. Try counting to 20 before you swallow. It really makes a difference. Fifth, moderate your sugar. Excess sugar feeds the bad bacteria and yeast in your gut, leading to gas, bloating, and even skin issues. If you crave sweets, go for fiber-rich fruits like berries or apples. And try a square of dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa as a treat. It's gut-friendly in moderation. Sixth, stress less. Chronic stress affects your digestive function in a very real way. It reduces blood flow to the intestines, changes your gut microbiota, and can literally slow down or speed up digestion. Practicing relaxation techniques, even 5 minutes of deep breathing or a short walk after dinner, can ease both your mind and your gut. Seventh, sleep better. Poor sleep is linked to increased gut inflammation and reduced diversity of good bacteria. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep. Try dimming your lights an hour before bedtime, cutting caffeine after 2 p.m., and staying off screens before you sleep. Eighth, move more, but don't overdo it. Just 20 to 30 minutes of gentle movement a day, like walking, stretching, or gardening, stimulates digestion, encourages elimination, and supports overall wellness. Ninth, embrace fermented foods. As mentioned earlier, these foods offer beneficial bacteria that can help repopulate your gut. Kefir, yogurt with live cultures, kombucha, miso, kimchi, and fermented pickles are great additions. They're especially helpful if you've recently taken antibiotics or experienced a lot of stress. And finally, be cautious with supplements. While a high-quality probiotic can help, it's not a magic fix. Look for one with multiple strains and a high CFU colony-forming unit count. And always check that it's designed to survive stomach acid. A good brand will be transparent about these details. Now, let's address a myth that can be harmful. The idea that if you're not having a bowel movement every single day, something is wrong. Everyone's rhythm is different. For some, every day is normal. For others, it might be every other day. What matters more is how you feel. If your stool is hard, painful to pass, or you're constantly bloated or uncomfortable, that's when adjustments are needed. There's also the belief that poop equals toxins and that we must purge it completely to be clean. But remember, our intestines are not clogged pipes. They're self-cleaning. And most toxins are broken down and excreted by your liver and kidneys, not your colon. Yes, it's possible to feel lighter or more energized after a bowel movement or cleanse, but this doesn't mean you were full of poison. More often than not, what you're feeling is relief from bloating, not the removal of toxic waste. In fact, going too far with cleanses can backfire. Frequent use of harsh laxatives can lead to dehydration, electrolyte imbalances, and dependency. And if you're flushing out beneficial bacteria too often, you're weakening your defenses and disrupting your digestion. It all circles back to this truth. The best cleanse is a lifestyle built around smart, sustainable habits. One filled with fresh foods, a variety of fibers, quality hydration, and a focus on gut balance. So if you've been tempted by those videos or articles promising dramatic results from an overnight flush, take a step back. Ask yourself, what does my gut really need? It doesn't need to be scrubbed. It needs to be supported. Try swapping one processed meal for a homemade soup loaded with vegetables. Add a fermented side to dinner. Take a short walk after eating. Drink an extra glass of water today. These changes, though small, accumulate into real progress. And the next time someone tells you you've got 5 pounds of toxic waste trapped inside you, smile and know that you're already taking the smarter path, one rooted in balance, understanding, and long-term well-being.